French macarons, one of the most delicious yet most complicating desserts to make. Originating in France over 200 years ago. In this video, I'll be teaching you the steps and tricks on how to make the macarons the best and tastiest they can be. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first thing you want to do whenever you're making your macarons is sifting your dry ingredients together. First, you're going to want to sift out your almond flour. Now, sometimes it can be tricky to sift it, so you can always use a fork or spatula of some type to push it down the sifter. After sifting in your almond flour, you're going to want to sift in your powdered sugar, also known as confectionery sugar. You're just going to want to do this until you have the correct amount. After you have combined all of your ingredients, you're then going to want to whisk all of your ingredients together to ensure that everything is properly mixed in and combined well. Now you're going to want to set aside your dry ingredients and get another bowl that's a little bit bigger. Now that you have set aside your dry ingredients and gotten a bigger bowl, you're going to want to add in your egg whites. Do not add your yolk, as all we need is just the egg whites. A good recommendation that makes sure you have really good macarons and a nice cookie for the macarons is to leave your eggs in lukewarm water for around 5 minutes to make sure they get into room temperature, or you can leave your eggs out for around 7 to 10 minutes so that way you can get your eggs into room temperature. Once you've added your egg whites, you're going to want to get a hand mixer or a stand mixer. Now you're going to want to put it on medium to low speed for the first part, mainly because you do not want to splash all of the egg whites out. Now, for the first 2 minutes, you're going to want to combine your egg whites and whisk them together on medium speed for 2 minutes until soft peaks. And you'll notice that there's going to be a big change whenever you're whisking. And I'll speed up in this video to show you what this soft peaks should look like after the 2 minutes. Once you have finished whisking and you notice you have soft peaks, you're going to want to add in your sugar, and you're going to want to mix it this time on high speed for about 2 minutes or more until you have stiff peaks, and you can literally flip the bowl and nothing comes out. After a couple minutes, or you feel it's ready, you're going to want to stop your mixer and lift it up to check if it has stiff peaks. As you can tell here, it's not stiff enough at the moment, so I decided I'm going to keep mixing until I feel it's ready. Now I have completely mixed it, and I'm going to check for the last time. This is exactly what it should look like. It should stick up like stiff peaks and should not move or drape down at all. Now this part is optional, but I decided I wanted to add some color to my cookies. So if you want to add color to your cookies, I 100% recommend using gel food coloring, as it does not affect the consistency of your egg whites. Now if you use water food coloring, it may affect your consistency of your egg whites and make you not have stiff peaks anymore. But if you do decide you want food coloring, add a couple drops and mix it on the mixer for about 30 seconds. When you have finished mixing in your color, you're going to want to add in your dry ingredients to the mix. Now, you're not going to need an electric mixer or a stand mixer anymore at this time. You're going to want to grab a spatula because you are going to do a specific folding method. The folding method is very simple. All you're going to want to do is a twist and a push through the middle. And the reason we want to do this for our cookie is so that way we don't deflate our egg whites and we make sure that we still have the fluffiness within our egg whites. And you're going to want to do this circular method for about 68 to 78 times, or until you can make a figure 8 by lifting up your spatula and going round and round so that way the batter does not disconnect from the spatula. As you can see, I have mixed it for quite a bit, and now I'm going to do a figure 8, except it disconnected, so I'm going to have to keep mixing until it gets the right consistency. Now this is the final attempt of doing the figure 8. As you can see, this is exactly what the figure 8 should look like, as it did not separate and it was a great gooey consistency that you were looking for. Now you're going to want to get a piping bag, and I recommend putting it over a cup so that way you can easily put in your cookie mix and be able to pipe your cookies onto your baking sheet. Now you're going to want to use a silicone mat or a regular cookie sheet. I prefer using a silicone mat because these ones have the perfect sizes for the cookies I can make and perfect spacing for whenever they are being made. Now that your baking mat is out, you're going to want to now pipe the cookies onto the mat into the perfect sizes of the shape. And you're going to want to fill all of them in until it's completely filled. Now that you've added all of your cookies onto the mat, you're going to want to tap it a couple times to make sure that you get all of the air bubbles out of the cookies, so that way there is no gaps or it doesn't interfere with the process of the cooking of the cookies. Now you're going to want to leave the cookies out for about 30 minutes so it can form a nice film over it. That way whenever you cook it, the cookies don't crack on the top. While that is aside resting, we can now make the filling for the macarons. This time I decided I wanted to make a buttercream filling. Now you can make a ganache or you can use a jam for the filling, but I decided I wanted to use buttercream because it's nice, fluffy, and tastes really good. To make the buttercream filling, first you're going to want to start off with half a stick of butter, and you're going to want to slightly defrost it because sometimes in the fridge it can get really cold and be really hard to mix. So you're going to want to make sure to mix it so that way it gets thick and fluffy, so that way you can start making your buttercream. When you have fully mixed together and blended up the butter, you're going to want to add 3/4 cup and 2 tablespoons of confectionery or powdered sugar. Once the sugar is added, you're going to want to add the last ingredients, a splash of vanilla extract or half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Either way works. And then you're going to want to start mixing it on low speed, and you can amp up the speed once all of the sugar is fully mixed together. after making your buttercream and your macarons have sat out for about 30 minutes, and you notice a slight film on top, you're going to want to bake your cookies at 350 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. Once the time has come, you may take out your macaron shells from the oven, and they should look something like this. Now you're going to want to properly take off the cookies off the mat so you can twist them and take them off, and so that way there is no residue left behind or none of the cookies break apart whenever you are pulling it off the mat. Now you're going to want to pipe some of the buttercream into the middle of each cookie. Once you have finished, you may sandwich the cookies together, and this is exactly what macaron should look like. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope this tutorial helped, and this is exactly how to make foolproof macarons the best and most delicious way.